Hello everyone, welcome back to Just Invest Today. In this video, we're talking about a doomsday stock analysis on Facebook slash Meta by Aswath Damodaran. So he had this three-part series about Facebook slash Meta, investment lessons that you can learn from the whole Facebook crash and what has been happening with Facebook stock. But guys, he gives his doomsday scenario in his last video about Facebook. So we're gonna analyze it. We're gonna see what does this mean for Facebook. And is the market being very bearish and just way too bearish on Meta? Because man, this stock is at all-time lows, and man, it's been at these lows forever. Let's look at Facebook's valuation, see what does this mean for the future of Facebook, and is it a good time to invest in the company, or is it a good time just to stay away? So let's get into this video right now. Guys, like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'm always providing you guys with so much new content, man. So click that like button, click that subscribe button right now. Year to date, Meta has been getting crushed. This market has no love for Meta. Remember, this stock was a $352 stock. It crashed all the way to $88 and now it's at $108. Year to date did 67% in the negative. That is incredible. That's crazy for a company like this. Remember, it was named top 5 stock in the world and now it's not even in the mention of that at these prices, a 10 PE, a $288 billion stock. And this is all because of the metaverse and the spend. Ever since they've been talking about the metaverse, Facebook stock has just been getting crashed. And it's even doubled down on the whole metaverse while spending and losing $10 billion with Reality Labs. So that's why everyone is just losing their mind. And they said over maybe the next 10 years, maybe 15 years, they're spending $100 billion. So most people think that's a sunk cost. Like, the metaverse isn't going to play out because no one knows what the metaverse is, how they're going to monetize the whole concept. So that's where people are struggling with Facebook, with Meta. They'll be like, damn, it's generating a lot of cash, but this whole metaverse thing is just out of the scope of what I want to invest in. So this is where we see this stock crashing and why it's so low compared to any other big tech stock in the market. Because remember, this was a big tech company that was listed right beside the Amazons, the Apples, the Googles. I'm going to show you this tweet very quickly because this is very alarming and just shows you how much people hate Mark Zuckerberg and just the whole metaverse concept. Amazon's Alexia on pace to lose $10 billion this year. So just think about this. We have a lot of companies like Microsoft, like Google's other bets. Microsoft, they spend a lot of money on other stuff. Before even the cloud took off, like they were losing and they were spending a lot of money. And we have Amazon with their whole like Prime Video and all their content money they spend on like Lord of the Rings. Like, how is that paying off? We have Alexia losing 10 billion. But guys, there's not a word about this. No one cares. There's no like noise. No like, oh, I gotta sell Amazon because of this. Think about it. They are just doing this, and this is just goes to show you that since Meta is at the forefront of talking about it, they always talk about losing money. I'm losing $10 billion here. I'm losing $100 billion here without giving an explanation on how it's going to monetize this company. And that's where Aswath Damodaran comes in and says how the story is very important towards the valuation. And he gives his prediction on the worst case scenario for Facebook. And if you think about this, and even with my valuation of Facebook, just look at the amount of money Facebook has made or Meta has made. Facebook has made $26 billion. Facebook made $39 billion in 2021. Right now it's at $26 billion of free cash flow. The market cap is at $288 billion. You only need 10 years or less to get all your money back. $26 billion, and that's with no growth. I'm not even thinking about growing of Facebook or growing of Meta. In 10 years, I'm going to have $288 billion in free cash flow. So I'm going to have that in market cap without any growth with Facebook's dominant position in the market. We know in 5 years, Facebook isn't going anywhere, Instagram isn't going anywhere. When people say, oh, but the business is dying, it's going to lose money. No one has ever provided some evidence that Facebook or Meta is dying. Like, I just can't see it. Month after month is the most downloaded app. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, the most downloaded apps. Mark Zuckerberg came out and literally said in his last earnings call that this is the most amount of users Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp has ever had. Like, where is this decline in the business? Like, I just don't see it, and no one can show me proof that the business is dying. People are using it just the same amount, or people downloading the app month after month, year after year. So I just don't believe the claim that the business is dying. No one can show me any proof of that. And the people saying, oh, TikTok. Guys, you can use TikTok and Instagram. It's not one or the other. Like, people are so deluded. It's like saying, oh, if you have YouTube, you can't use Instagram or you can't use TikTok. Like, it's just a false claim. Like, you can work with both apps. Like, it's not one wins all. Like, that's not how the business works. So with that being said, we can just see from my valuation alone that in 10 years, you're gonna get all your money back just from the free cash flow without even counting in the cash they have on the balance sheet, not even counting the growth that they're gonna have in their business because Facebook or Meta, because Meta will grow into the future. So here is Aswath Damodaran's Doomsday Scenario, and here's his kind of contingencies. So the trailing 12 months of operating income, what they just earned, guys, 35 billion. For 20 years, they're going to be earning that with zero growth. This is with a slowing economy for advertisement. Advertisement is at an all-time low. No one's advertising pretty much in a recession time period, and it's at all-time lows, and no one's advertising. Every company is cutting back that marketing spend. So in this type of economy, plus the stronger dollar, so 35 billion is where it's at for 20 years, and then it's going to drop to zero in that last 20 years, right? It's going to keep pace with this R&D investments, 32 billion. So with that pace is pretty crazy, but it's going to keep pace with that. With zero return from the R&D, cost of capital of 9%, it puts it in the 75th percentile for risk. This is what he has for Meta. So he's assuming that they invest $100 billion in this metaverse spend and they will show nothing for it. Even though Mark Zuckerberg literally said that if he doesn't see anything in maybe 4 or 5 years, or they're not doing much, they're going to kind of cut that down. And he even said that the cost is going to go up for a little bit and then stabilize. So that's what Mark Zuckerberg is saying this. With this doomsday scenario, it still puts Meta at $243 billion for today, which we looked at the market cap, it's around 288 billion. So this was the worst scenario you could have for Meta, and it's still $243 billion. So let's hear what he has to say about this.
If I make those assumptions, you know what the value that I get for Facebook is? If you look at the actual numbers, with zero growth, 9% cost of capital and 20 years of life, the value that I get for the equity is 258 billion.
Oh, so with the cash and minus the debt is 258 billion. That's at 243. So it's 258 billion, and the market cap is at 288 billion.
Doomsday scenario. In fact, if I strip the Reality Labs portion of the costs out of it, so if I take the revenues and the expenses out of it, and I value the company still with no growth, still with the same cost of capital and 20-year life, my value increases from 257 to 330 billion. You think, what does that tell me?
330 billion without Reality Labs. Remember, this is a doomsday scenario. Guys, this market cap is at all-time lows, and this is just showing you it.
In effect, if you compare those two columns, Reality Labs, if what you're assuming is they will invest 100 billion over the next decade and have nothing, no revenues, no earnings. It's not even that they make enough, some cash flows, no cash flows. You're knocking down the value of equity by 71 billion if you view the investment in Reality Labs as money just thrown down a hole in the ground. You think, who would do that? That's not just conservative, that's crazy. Why would a company invest 100 billion with no payoff? I agree. But here's an interesting number. On October.
So that's what he's saying for Facebook / Meta, that this company is at around 330 billion without Reality Labs, with it 250 billion. Everything that he presented in this video, what are you thinking about Facebook / Meta? Are you gonna buy it? People will always revert back to saying that Facebook Meta is dying. So the whole 20 years of just stable operating incomes is not true. It's not gonna happen. But people just keep forgetting that how strong the moat is for Meta right now. Like, it's incredible. Do you remember back when the flu pandemic happened and people couldn't log on to Meta? They couldn't log on to Instagram, WhatsApp. They couldn't do any of that stuff. Facebook People were crying for like a day and a half. You couldn't avoid how people were crying about the fact that they didn't have Instagram to go on to. It was crazy. So with that moat, plus the business is still growing no matter what people want to say. I presented to you like its monthly active users keep going up. It's the most downloaded app. Instagram is still growing. Facebook is still growing. WhatsApp is still growing. Everything is still growing. With a slowing economy, with advertisement at the very minimum right now, this business still has a long way to go, in my opinion. So I think this doomsday scenario just presents to you why like Meta is just so cheap. So guys, tell me what you think about this. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll get back to you in the next video. Peace.